Hi guys, it's Christina from Blossom and Root. Today's reader Q&A comes from a reader who wants to know where she can find all the artwork that we use for picture study in the different Blossom and Root programs. So we do picture study in every single Blossom and Root program that we offer, from the early years to kindergarten to first grade. In the early years curricula and in the kindergarten, we study 4 different artists throughout the year. And those vary from year to year based on which one you're doing. And in the first grade, starting with the first grade and moving through all our elementary curriculum that's coming through, rather than studying 4 artists, we are studying art based on different math concepts. So you study quite a lot of different artists, and in fact it includes things like Frank Lloyd Wright and installation artists and more modern artists that maybe don't use traditional two-dimensional pictures like the other ones do. So there's quite a variety of artwork that is covered in our programs. And it can be a little daunting when you're trying to find a resource to use to find all of those pieces. We used to have a really great resource on Amazon that was a Kindle book series that you could get on, they had dozens of different artists. And so for each book, you got, I think, 13 different pictures by that artist that were kid appropriate, so they didn't have any that, I don't think they had any that were violent or had nudity or anything like that. I think they were specifically made for children. However, about a year ago, those disappeared off the internet completely. I can't find any trace of them whatsoever anymore. So we kind of lost that resource, which was too bad. But honestly, the easiest solution, and the one I recommend the most, is Google image search. It's so simple, it's free, you don't have to scramble to find different books where all the pieces are represented. You just type in the artist and the name of the picture and then click on image. So when you get your Google results, you can click on image and it'll pull up all the images of that particular picture. And here's the next step. The next step is to open the image in a separate tab. So you kind of right-click, I think you right-click on the image, and you can tell your computer to open it in a separate tab, and that way it kind of takes all the clutter away that's around the image, and it's kind of in a black box floating on the black box, and you can enlarge it and kind of block out everything else on your screen so that that's the only thing that's on your screen. So that is the easiest way to get every picture that you need for picture study in any of our programs, and it's the one that costs the least amount because it's free, and it saves you a lot of trouble of having to go around and pull all these different resources. So that's my #1 recommendation. With that recommendation, we recently had a parent that's in our private parent Facebook group for Blossom and Root tell us that what she likes to do is she pulls the image up on a Google search, and then she uses Chromecast, I think it's called, to put it on her television screen. So it makes it big. And I thought that was so smart. And the coolest thing is she sets it up so that when they're not watching television during the day, the picture's on display. So it's kind of like a rotating art exhibit for their living room. And I just thought that was so smart, and it's something I would definitely love to embrace ourselves in our homeschool. So that's an option with the Google search as well, if you have the technology to do that. And honestly, I don't even know if I do, but my husband would know, so I might put him on that assignment. But Google image search, it's the easiest way to go. Now, if you are really just not in love with using technology and you'd rather hold the artwork or be able to like hold a book with the artwork in it, the best option for you in that case is to go to your local library and find books about that artist. So if you're doing Van Gogh, go to the local library and bring your curriculum with you that has the list of all the pieces you need to have in the back of the curriculum, and look for books on those artists and make sure you go through and see if it has all of the images that you need for the curriculum. So I think there's 9 for each artist, and you can just go through and check, okay, they have this one, they have this one, they have this one. And if you might have to get more than one book on that artist if one of the books doesn't have the complete collection. Or if they have almost all of them but they're missing 1 or 2, you can just Google image search the 1 or 2 that are missing. So that's another free option that's relatively easy to do. I have done that myself for a couple of the artists because I really wanted us to be able to hold the picture in a book when we were doing it. And then another option, and this is a great one if you like to build up a personal library of all these works, is to go to like a bookstore like Barnes & Noble and go to the bargain section that they have, which is usually toward the front of the store. And they usually have great coffee table books that are pretty affordable for each artist. Some of them are little and some of them are big. And we've done that for a couple of the artists too. I know we have Van Gogh and Monet. And I got those after we had actually finished that part in the curriculum because I wanted us to have them in our library. So that is a great option. Obviously, Amazon is another great way to get coffee table books and things like that. Another option on Amazon is to order collections of postcards for each artist, and that is an awesome way to build your art library as well. Just go through and you can type into the Amazon search the name of the artist and postcards, and it'll pull up, you know, a few different options. You can kind of flip through and see which pieces they have most of the time. And usually those are pretty inexpensive as well, and you can even frame them. You can find posters of the same works on Amazon and frame them too. So that's another great way. And then a way that may not be as successful at getting the full collection, but that's really, really fun, is to visit your local art museum and go to their gift shop, and they usually have a pretty good collection of postcards in there as well. So those are all the options that I would recommend. If you are on a tight budget, Google image search is your best friend, so is the library. And if you really want to have those in your collection, Amazon, Barnes & Noble for coffee table book type things, or of course going to your local art museum, are all great ways to go. Those are all the resources that I usually recommend to people and that the other families in our private group recommend to people. If you have another resource that you have found, if you're doing Blossom and Root and you have found a great resource for the artist studies that we do, please share them in the comments so that other parents can see them. I would love to share them in our private Facebook group as well. And if you have any other questions regarding that, you are always free to email me. If you have any questions you'd like me to do a video answer for, please shoot me an email at Christina@blossomandroot.com, and I would be happy to answer it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great day.